All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I scrapped a 34-minute recording because I realized like the rant I have for one of my topics went on for way too long and it was like all over the place, completely unorganized. Out of love and pure respect for my greatest audiences, I've reorganized my stuff and yeah, I present you this. It's still gonna be like a little bit of rant here and there, but on the juiciest topic, I hope that it's more digestible. Now, our first topic for the video is gonna be about what has happened for me at work last week on a beautiful Friday evening. After I have completed my 8 hours of work, I received a wonderful call from my boss. Bro said, "Would you like to come to work and help me solve a network issue?" It's on me for picking up the phone, but I also knew that this person normally actually has never called me at this time of night, so I know it's pretty serious. Our team is very small and like I don't want to make my boss feel like that, hey, I'm not trying to be helpful. So I picked up the phone. Everybody lives so far from the company. Me and my other coworker is pretty much the only two people who are close to the company. And my coworker lived further from the company than I do. So I'm like, let me just do my coworker a favor here. It's either him or I. So, you know, it was a network issue. I didn't do much. I simply moved some wires around, you know, rebooted the device, turned it back on, things of that nature. Also, I didn't know that the MDF could be a small stack of switches. Like I had no idea that could be an MDF because like in my head, the IDF is a big ass room, right? So the MDF must be at least a closet or something like that. Nope, just two switches. I don't know if it's a my company thing or not though. I hope that I could get enough experience to eventually move on to maybe a network role. I know that there's a lot of cybersecurity stuff happening for my company, so there's plenty of room for that. I don't know if I'm up to the task for it. From listening to one of my managers, like her past experience has led me to believe that as a cybersecurity analyst or worker, you are expected to be on call and work long ass fucking hours. Like it is not out of the ordinary to work like 10 hours, 12-hour days. So I don't know if I like that work-life balance, especially if I find a company where I cannot work remotely. I will be fried. I am not gonna commute to work, right? And work 12 hours. Hell no. Absolutely not. That's 14 hours of my day gone, bro. Other than that, I replaced zippers on my hoodies and my zipper pockets recently. Dude, it's a big achievement. Like, I love doing handiwork. I like fixing shit. It's just very satisfying to save yourself some expenses. It's much more simplistic than I thought it would be. You have to take off the zipper enders, which is plastic for most of the time. And then you take that off, you push the zipper up out of the position and you swap on a new one. That's pretty much it. What I didn't know is that depending on the material, like nylon, plastic, metal, they have different designs. Sizes ranges from like 1 to 5 to 8. The zippers themselves could be non-reversible, could be metal, things like that. So yeah, I learned something new this week about that. Now, the nitty-gritty of this video, right? Where after checking the recording time, I realized it was completely overblown. It was like at least 25 minutes. I'm trying to squeeze in this topic in under that, hopefully in this recording. Let's talk about Project Moon. Yes, it's a studio who has crafted the perfect backdrop for storytelling. Okay, that's overselling it. Well, what type of worldview Project Moon is trying to make? The worldview is that there's a city on this planet, right? And it's the only habitable area left. Within the city, corporations have divided the lands into districts and calling them nests. Areas with weak to no corporation influences are essentially the back streets, where, you know, normal folks with little to no security and protection hang out. The city operates with like 4 loose category of forces: the corporation itself, the fixer offices, which are muscles for hire, mercenaries essentially, the finger, which are highly organized crime organizations, and you have syndicates, which could be like a very loose categorization of just mobs, gangsters, you know, troublemakers, things of that sort. Each corporation is named after a letter of the alphabet and houses a special technology called the Singularity that sometimes relates to their letter. Best example would be the W Corp and their Singularity being a train that travels from point A to point B instantly, maybe relying on a warp speed technology. Project Moon Has created 3 games so far in chronological order of release, which is Lobotomy Corp, Library Ruina, Limbus Company. Lobotomy Corp has a singularity that allows them to extract abstract beings from human psyche and manifest them in the real world. Then by some means, they're able to produce a product called enkephaline from these beings, which could be used as drugs or energy sources. At the end of Lobotomy Corp, the main character of the story, Ayin, decides to become a god, it seems. Bro just went straight into the light. And that's not a metaphor. Like, bro literally fucking became the light. Bit of a spoilers. The beam of light originally was planned to shower the city for about 7 days, but stopped short at 3 days because of his lab assistant, Angela, decided to betray him. Angela becomes a librarian and kicks off the story of Library of Ruina, where she turns people into books and collect knowledge. Now, I'm not sure what she wanted to do with that knowledge. I know she wanted to make a perfect book, but I don't know what that book is for. Eventually, in the good ending, the library gets expelled from the city. Like, the entire facility gets like teleported outside of the city to the outskirts. And yeah, anybody who died in the library got their lives restored. This is a terrible move, by the way. We will learn about it in the story of Leviathan. Yo, what the fuck is our drifter, bro? Holy shit, 99,000 fucking damage, 31 kills. Brother was 30k souls ahead of everybody. What the fuck? Never seen that before. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked here. Now, Leviathan is a in-between story of Library of Ruina and Limbus Company, the latter of which I have zero idea story-wise. Leviathan follows the perspective of Vergilius and a supporting character named Garnet. Vergilius ran an orphanage following his killing spree of a syndicate. These syndicate members had children, so, you know, Vergilius took care of them, ironically enough. There's a very somber scene where a kid stabbed Vergilius in the back, and Vergilius did nothing in retaliation. Following the event of Library Arena, people are returned to the city, right? Seemingly randomly. I don't know if there's like a predestined location for them to return to or not. Doesn't really matter. Destruction follow wherever these people return to. Vergilius orphanage just so happens to get obliterated by this like blob of flesh. It's a couple, by the way. These 2 people got merged into one monstrous looking thing. From what I recall, they were riding the W train as well. Oh yeah, so the W train actually doesn't reach a destination instantaneously. It hops into a pocket dimension where time travels differently. In that pocket dimension, time flows very fucking slowly. Body decomposes and like morphs. The singularity that W Corp possesses is that it somehow makes their body go back to normal and wipes their memory after re-entering our realm. Now, back to Leviathan. So in between the obliteration of the orphanage and the next chapter of the story is left up to the reader's imagination. They didn't go over much. So at that point of the story, Vergilius has like a office of fixers open. Garnet grew up in the orphanage, and now that he's adult, he decided to become a fixer as well. Now, somehow, in some way, Garnet has received information from one of the orphanage children who infiltrated the ring's research dens in an attempt to recover the other kidnapped siblings. On this tape, it also captured what seems to be a new singularity that's being developed. At this point of story, nobody knows what company possesses this singularity, but being able to steal a singularity could yield someone an unimaginable amount of wealth, right? Vergilius had to make a difficult decision between helping Garnet recover, or rather, I should say, Vergilius needs to prioritize stealing this singularity first or recovering the children first. Now, due to the nature of the city being an extremely hostile and just unforgiving environment to live in, Vergilius gave Garnet the most cold yet realistic answer, which is they will recover the singularity first as their target and try to save the children if possible. So yeah, Garnet just had to like swallow that. And I guess his dream got crushed a little in the process as well. A lot has transpired in between infiltrating the research facility, and I think it's best for people to just like read the story and see what they think about it. So skipping right to the last part, Vergilius is in a standoff with a top brass. The ring is composed of different fingers, and this member is one of the fingers top brass. Just for clarification. And this person obtained a really crazy form where like a bunch of blue dots cover their body and somehow they grew like a tail and they have like this weird appearance similar to a lizard. These dots could be manifested on surfaces and in physical contact with another being. Whenever these dots makes contact with another person, the inflicted person will experience painful or despair-worthy alternate realities. Vergilius, on the verge of defeat, seemed to like come into contact with Ayin. At least that's what like the story is suggesting. Ayin seems to offer Vergilius an easy way out, and I've written this down on a sticky note, so I'm just gonna read it word for word. I believe it's from the perspective of Vergilius in her monologue. It would have whispered sweet words filled with sincerity and gentleness, telling him to only look at himself and that it would lend him strength. So in that moment, Ayin is enticing Vergilius to give into whatever cravings and desires he might house within his hearts. There's a lot to digest. Not only did Ayin somehow manage to become like a godlike entity, but he's also offering power indiscriminately to people. This is on the basis of Vergilius deducing that the ring member might have came into contact with Ayin as well, and that's how like they obtained that form. I wonder if Ayin is like granting everyone who seeks power in an attempt to decide if what he did in Lobotomy Corp's ending was right or wrong. And also essentially what Ayin is doing is offering the people of the city another path, where if you believe strongly enough and self-determined enough, you can manifest your own powers to change the world without relying on other people or external factors. And that's referring to EGOs or egos. So whereas before your life is pretty much just going to be either a hoodlum in the back streets or a corporate slave in one of the nests, or you're just going to be a mercenary in one of the fixer offices, or you could go as far as being like one of the members of the ring. Eventually, through Vergilius' self-determination and values, he rejected Ayin's offer and manifested his own EGO, a type of psychic armor, weaponry, or both actually, to fight off the blue-dotted ring guy. Vergilius has like this blood-drenched blade and a bloody cape, as well as having the ability to hide within pools of blood. He also has like this really rustic looking laurel on his head. What I really like about Project Moon is that it's the perfect playground for theory crafting and lore hunting. I've made like this analogy on numerous occasions, but when a story is played out like a stack of Legos where anything could connect to anything and everything is fair games, it often leads to a very entertaining and cool moments. It makes the writing easy and exciting and unpredictable, so it's like all factors that I enjoy. Despite how crazy and long-winded Project Moon's worldview can get, it all somehow like ties together, and that's really good planning. There are loose ends, I would say, as all stories go, but so far it's impressing me with its story. Now, I skipped over the Singularity earlier, like what it is that, you know, Vergilius and his crew is trying to recover. The name of the tech is called Glass Window. It seemingly allows people to experience alternate realities and eventually let them manifest objects, skills, and outfits from those realities. That's like the coolest part to me. Experiences also seem to carry over, but through Garnet's combat with one of the ring members, it does seem that there's like some sort of reduction in effectiveness. Garnet had a difficult time using his skills, even though his brain knows that he has mastered all of them. Through Garnet's manifestation of alternate selves, we get these Easter eggs where Garnet, you know, change into Roland or like change into another character from past games. This again is why I really liked Project Moon, because they're able to weave in these Easter eggs and recall those events from past stories. So it gives both new players and old players something to look forward to. It's great for wow factor and the shack value, you know. In one of the realities, fucking Garnet got turned into like some broke ass college student, so that was interesting. It could very well be that like the glass window technology is immature, or like there's a trade-off in being able to access these realities so easily. So that's why like Garnet had trouble using his skills and whatnot. I left out one more event that happened when Vergilius and his crew infiltrated the facility. This is an event where one of Vergilius' fixers called Nonsul, he betrayed his other co-worker and stabbed him in the back. Now I know you guys are thinking there's like a common theme of people getting stabbed in the back here, and yes, I think that's quite in line with what Project Moon is trying to paint, which is a very unforgiving and just like self-righteous worldview of the city. Going back to the original point though, Nonsul's reason for betrayal is actually pretty straightforward. So he's helping Vergilius in the task of stealing this technology, which will incur the fury of like the rings. The ring is working in tandem with a corporation, so it's like a double whammy there. He's gonna get hunted down for the remainder of his life. And not only that, the ring has like a vast network that will hunt down a person's family. Nonsul does not wish to, you know, bring that harm to his family, and he basically had to make a decision for himself as well as his family. He knows that his betrayal ultimately means death no matter what, so he chooses to pick the choice which spares his family and only results in his death. That means, you know, him dying to Vergilius. It makes sense. It just makes so much sense looking at it. Like, you have this weak fixer who obviously cannot stand up to like a bunch of fucked up, like, superpowered human beings. And you have someone that's basically essentially Gojo, like Vergilius, just untouchable, you know? He is a special grade, by the way. I forgot to mention that. He's like the fucking badass older character. Bro has like glowing red eyes. He fucks shit up. He has a special title, you know? I'm slobbering all over that man meat. What? Who said that? Bro is one of the top people in the city. Glimpse over that completely. At the end of the story, I definitely did not expect to see Charon or like Faust. These two characters are from Limbus Company. It's also worth mentioning that, you know, we will probably get a Kanto featuring Lapis, Garnet, and Vergilius at some point. I could definitely foresee that, where they use this glass window technology to somehow make a clone for these children that died and passed away. But yeah, that wraps up what I want to say in a very clean manner. I'm looking forward to more chitter chatters later. Oh yeah, I also want to do something new in this video, which is including like a music suggestion segment. It's mainly hyperpop, yeah. All right, catch y'all later. New movie coming out soon, TM, Good Fortune, Keanu Reeves. I think I'll watch that because I enjoy a pretty straightforward, feel-good story, you know? We need one of those once in a while. And another one which is like Roofman, another silly, goofy movie that I'm looking forward to. All right, boys, catch y'all later.